Hey, Damian Mason coming at you to discuss protein and the protracted trade war with China that I see looming and how it's going to impact us in the business of agriculture. Headline this week, China bans imports of Tyson plant. One of the Tyson poultry processing facilities in Springdale, Arkansas, had some workers get coronavirus, and so China is using this as a reason to not receive or take any more shipments from Tyson. That is not the real reason. I'm going to get to that in a second. First off, did the poultry plant have some workers contract coronavirus? Of course they did. We've been dealing with this story for all of spring, right? The good news is most of the meat processing plants are back and running, and we're not as restricted on capacity as we were. But this is only an excuse that China is using to flex their muscle, and China's been doing a lot of muscle flexing this last several months, especially in the coronavirus era, when they believe that the economies of their adversaries are being harmed and that somehow China can harm us. There's more to the story, though. China did this specifically against Tyson, and I'll tell you why. There are 4 big meat processing companies here in the United States of America. Tyson is the biggest. Cargill is another American meat processing company. And then there is JBS, which is Brazilian owned. And then there is Smithfield, which is China owned. Oh, why would they want to harm Tyson, or would they make a spectacle out of standing up against Tyson? Because those 4 big meat companies are being investigated right now by the Department of Justice for price-fixing allegations. One of the companies decided to be a squealer, to narc, to go ahead and cooperate with the Department of Justice, to get a slap on the hand, while the other companies might get really, really penalized. Guess which company decided to be the squealer? You guessed it, Tyson. So this is China acting out against Tyson to try and prove that, you know what, we don't need your product and we're one of your big customers, right? You can't live without us. China's been doing that a lot lately. And this is where we in the United States of America and the business of agriculture must continue to reverse our thinking that we had for about 20 years, that we believed China was our friend and our customer and we just couldn't live without them. If they don't buy our soybeans, my goodness, we will never sell soybeans. Here's the reality. China does not want to be our customer. They want to be our replacement. They buy our agricultural product right now because they need it. You know why they need protein? They need protein from the United States of America because they have just suffered the African swine fever. Remember, that started 2.5 years ago. Before they gave us coronavirus, they gave the world African swine fever, which decimated half of China's hog herd. So they need protein because they have none of their own pork to turn to. They've been ramping up poultry purchases, and now they're saying, well, we're not going to take it from you, Tyson. So you can bet that they're going to be ramping up poultry purchases from other countries. But it's even worse. They're spending almost $2 trillion in what is titled the New Belt and Road Initiative. They're going to third world countries and developing countries, and basically in a new era of yuan-funded imperialism, they are putting in harbors and railroads and highways in countries like China or African countries so that they then will have an investment and control of food from other sources than the United States of America. What we got to get a grip on is that China is not going to be our customer forever, or they will be very reluctantly. We made a mistake by becoming too dependent on them. We have 4 countries in the world that are very hostile to us. They are Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China. Only one of them have we decided somehow we can't live without and we'll get in bed with and we'll allow to sort of dictate to us how we're going to exist. You see the problem there? So moving forward, I predict more of this. I predict protein will be still a hot button because the Chinese people need protein. They lost half their hog herd. And there's the other issue that right now China thinks they can flex their muscle and harm us. And they know that right now we really need that farm economy. They pledged to buy $50 billion worth of agricultural products in that trade deal. That is complete and utter nonsense. Most they ever bought was $24 billion back a few years ago when things were good and rosy between us. So don't count on that. Don't believe them. Don't trust them. I'm Damian Mason. I'm the author of Food Fear, a book about the business of food and agriculture, keeping you abreast of the business of agriculture from my perspective. Thanks for tuning in.